Hey everybody, Jill Blanchette. I don't think I'm on yet. Now I'm on. Welcome to my video for tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Jill Blanchette, Green Thumb Stamper. I am coming to you for my weekly live tonight. We are going to do an old technique tonight. Can't wait to show you. I got to back up just in case it doesn't execute the way I want. Hey, Vesta, thanks for hopping on. Oh, good. Thank you for letting me know. For some reason, when I set all up, it didn't really want to set up properly. So I'm going to have to figure this new camera out still, you guys, and fiddle-faddle with it a little bit to get the zoom and stuff right. But I don't really have anything. Haven't been up to much. Been working on my business, working on changing around my newsletter. I didn't get my newsletter figured for fixed and sent today. I need to do that. I'll do that as soon as this is over. If you don't get my newsletter, I highly recommend you sign up for it because in the coming months there's going to be some changes with that, and you will definitely want to keep up with the different emails. I'll try not to send too many, but my classes and such are going to switch up a little bit over the next couple months while I work around with that. And so go to greenthumbstampers.com and then you'll see there, get my newsletter. If you're on your computer, you should see a little sign up box on the right. You just have to put your email address in, and I don't even think, as long as you put your email and say you're not a robot, it will sign you up. I guarantee you won't want to miss getting the newsletter for all the fun stuff that's coming up. So let's see what we got here. Let me get I got all the cards done from, let's see, October 1st winner. Should be Christy Hammerline and Janice McPherson. And I think those were the two that I just took everybody that had commented and threw you into the drawing for this card. This was the remove the ink with the paper, the ink lifting with water. And then last week, my breast cancer fun fold, I have Julie Heights and Debbie Green won those. So I will get those addressed and in the mail to you guys hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to turn my camera now, so close your eyes till I get it all figured out where I need to go. So I'm going to turn this down. Then, let's see, are we backwards? I didn't switch. There we go. And we need to zoom in so you could see. See, this is where I'm not exactly sure what's happened. I don't want to zoom in this far, but if I don't, you guys are seeing my camera base, and you've never really seen that in the past, I don't think. So yeah, I don't know what has changed, that my setup here is different. Again, I got it straight up and down. Oh well, okay, so we're gonna just go with it. So tonight, what we're going to do, let me get this all neatly out and about here so I can figure out. We're going to start by, we're going to use the Amber Autumn stamp set for part of it. And then we're going to use the die. I'm going to use this big old die here. I ran it through a whole bunch of times. You want to run your like your little brush over it to get all these bits out. I already did all that so that it came out nicely for us. And just run it through your machine and voila, we have this. So I have an extra one that I'm going to set aside because that will go on one of the card kits. So I do have, how many card kits did I make? I don't know if I made 2 or 4, but we're going to make 2 cards with this one piece here. So we're going to get started with the first one. I'll show you the first one, what it's going to look like. So here's the first one that we're going to make. Okay. And we're going to do this technique right here. It's called cracked glass. I hope you can see how cool that is. Don't know if you've ever done it before, but we're going to give it a whirl. And so I'm going to walk you through that. We're going to start with this little guy here. And in my messing around practicing, I got a lot of practicing in just to make sure that I knew the right sizes that we needed. It wasn't really cooperating as much as I wanted it to with the size. So I had to shrink it down a little bit. So I'm going to take a piece of paper that's about 2 inches by 3.5 inches. And I'm just going to find a home for it on my silicone mat. You can use your glass mat, but just be sure that you want to wipe it off before you do too much more, or you'll spread all that ink around on the back side of your paper. And I'm just trying to look for a good placement of this because we're going to I'm going to put it like that. We kind of wanted a lot of nice color on there, so we're going to leave it like that. Let's see. Rearrange my desk too. Let's see if I can tape this guy down at least. Keep him from moving. Then I have Old Olive. We'll start with Old Olive. And I got some blender brushes. And I got this one set for Old Olive. So we're just going to put our blender brush in the Old Olive. And I want the colors pretty dark. So I'm going to just go straight onto my paper because I want them to come through pretty dark. And while I'm here, I'm going to do up more. I'm going to do this whole thing just so that it's all done. We don't have to go back. But you can just do this little piece underneath and then go back. Oh, I didn't place my paper on or my tape on there very well because this was a little bit of an afterthought to do the whole thing. So put our tape on there so that we're not off too much. There. So then we're going to leave our little piece underneath there, and you can tack that down if you want. And I'm just going to do all of this piece right here while I got it. Whoops. See, that's why we want to tack it down because now I've moved it. Darn it all. Got all heavy fisted. All right, I'm going to take another piece of tape. Since I got some green up at the top already, let's just put that in here and we'll glue that down to the mat just right there. Hey, Julie. Where do I learn these techniques? Hey, Jasmine. I don't know. I just kind of remember from the old days, and while I'm looking around, I look at when I'm trying to get inspiration, I look at artwork and like anything that's out there in the Pinterest world that may have like artwork with acorns. I'll Google or I'll Pinterest search just things like that, and then that shows me, gives me a whole wide open amount of stuff to look at. So I probably should do some more green because this guy's not got a lot of green on him yet. I'll do a little more green right here. Back in the day when I first started doing this, it was kind of all about technique. We didn't have a whole lot of anything else. People didn't do a lot of fun folds and stuff yet. Now I have Cajun Craze and a different blender brush. Get that one out of the way. And like I said, I'm going to do the whole piece, just to have it done. And I want them dark as I can get them without spending too much time. My samples, I spent quite a bit of time trying to get them as dark as I wanted them. So I'll put a little bit on over here. I think you can see the whole thing. So I'm just going round and around. Let's do one little more blob of the rust. Cajun craze over here. Here. Then we're going to put that away. Oh, I probably need some more on my big piece, don't I? Let's come over here. All right, we'll call that good. Close that up. Then I have some cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to use the same brush because they're pretty close to the same colors. Come down here in the center with our cherry cobbler. Get that all around. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I think we got it everywhere. Well, I'm only looking at the center. I need to look out. I think my outliers are good too. Then I have some crushed curry and a different brush. Oh, you wouldn't know that by. Okay, so then I'm going to fill in all my white space with the curry, and then I'm going to go over, if I go over the others, that's all right. I'm going to take my tape off now. Just trying to blend them all in. Together. And then we'll come up and off to get the rest of the big piece filled in with our colors. Like that. Let's see. I got it. Hey, Mom. Hey, Sue. Tony, thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. Much, much, much appreciated. All right, so we're going to call that good on our underpiece. And we'll call that good for our overpiece as well. It looks like I got everything pretty much covered in. So we're done with our blending. Take our tape off. All right, now this is where the magic's going to happen. We are going to set this piece aside now. We'll use that in the next card. We're done with that for now. And now we're going to focus on this card. Should have brought my, what do you call it? My little cleaner, like a, paper towel. Should have brought a paper towel or a Kleenex, but this will work. Oh, I got Kleenex right there, but that's fine. That worked. Let me maybe get a Kleenex and I will dab it to make sure it's dry. Price of Kleenex, this Mom said went up, so shouldn't waste my good, save them for my nose, not my crafts. All right, so now we got that cleaned and ready to go. So now we're going to work with this little piece here. What we're going to do is we're going to put Versamark all over it. Every little inch of it's going to get some Versamark on it. Load her up good. And then we're going to put embossing powder on it. And I have here a fatter grain. I was trying to buy some of our white wow from the wow scrapbook store here in town that sold the wow, and it's too grainy. But our powder is very fine that we get, and it's called, I guess, like a detail powder. This is not a detail powder. This is more, you can see it. It looks like I got sugar on there. And now we're going to heat it. Looks like there's sugar on it, and it's not. But I also, in my practicing, learned I need to heat from the bottom up on this, or it blows 3/4 of it off. And you'll see as it melts, it's going to get really wet. I need to put the tongs in there, don't I? It gets really, so let me switch it a little bit. And it gets really hot because there's so much, but I just want to get it going, melting, and then I can like lay it down. Where's my, use this dental thing I bought. And then I can heat it up all the way. And I can see it's holy. It's got a little bit of holes in it. So I'm going to heat it a little extra. But that's okay. It's got some holes in it because we're going to fix that. So now what you'd want to do, give this a hot few seconds to dry, or cold few seconds to dry. You can take this and put this in the freezer if you'd like right now. And it'll just give it a hot shot in the freezer, or a quick sec in the freezer to take the heat off and cool that down. But I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to go, we want to put another layer of powder on the top. So I'm going to glue this one up, hopefully really well too. Thought the last one was really gooey. And we're going to put it in here again. Did I tell you guys yet my story? I know some of you guys have heard my story about this container of powder here. This is what teaches me to not buy, not buy for myself, right? I bought this giant thing of this powder, this embossing powder, just same brand that we get from Stampin' Up! Now. So I go and buy it, and I thought, I'm going to put it in the blender. Can you see where that's going? So I was trying to, finally grate it up. I wanted to put it in the blender and powder, get it down to a nice powder. But it wasn't really working. So I kept doing it and kept doing it. Finally, I emailed the company and I said, this is what I'm doing. Is this going to work? And the lady texted me back faster than any customer service place has ever texted me or emailed me before and said, please stop doing that immediately because you're going to heat the powder while you're trying to make it fine, and you're going to seize up your blender. I was using my, what do you call those things? My food processor thing. She's like, you will seize that up as soon as it gets hot. Please don't do that. So I listened to her and I stopped before. So needless to say, the whole thing is still all grainy, but I will just buy the fine stuff from Stampin' Up! Now the fine stuff will work. You may need a few more layers because what we're going to do now is we're building up the, you could see this is like, I think you should be able to see how like glossy it is because it's kind of thick. That's what this embossing powder does, this grainier one. It makes it thicker. Whereas ours is so fine, it sticks to, our, like these words here. If we put embossing powder on that, our embossing powder is going to stick to that because it's a fine powder. This would never stick. I could barely get it to stick to this whole thing without blowing off. So what we're going to do now in this process is we're done. We could put one more layer on it. It's cooled off. Let's do one more layer just for giggles. So 3 layers with the grainy stuff. Count on maybe 4 or 5 with the regular powder. We'll do it one more time. We don't need our embossing buddy because we want the stuff to go everywhere and stick everywhere. Oops, now I lost it on that one spot. Tap it off. Gonna heat one last time. One last time. And if I got to try and keep it as straight as I can, or the stuff does run. It's kind of like if you ever made like caramel, heated up your sugar and like brown sugar and butter on the stove and got it to boiling and it turned to sticky syrupy. Yeah, that's what this will do. So I want to kind of be careful. Just want to get it heated so it's going to stick. You can see it's kind of, some of it came off. Hold it down with my little pokey tool. And we're going to heat one last time. I'm heating on my silicone mat so it doesn't stick. What blows off onto my glass mat, I'm going to have to take a little tool to get that off. So now we're done. We've got 3 layers on there. She's good to go. She's hot. I'm going to run it over and throw it in the freezer. Yes, you heard that right. The freezer. Hold on. All right. Now it just has to stay in there. You got to leave it in there for a couple minutes, not like half an hour or anything. You know, if you forget about it, that's okay. It might just kind of start to curl on you if you forget about it. But just leave it in there. You want it to cool down. You want that the powder, the layers of the powder, we need it to get cold all the way through to create this look. So I'm going to go on a little bit while we wait. So I'm going to go this way with this card. So we've got a 4 1/4 by 11. Yeah, no, Julie, because it will seize it up, according to the lady. And I ran it through with the new embossing folder called, let me grab it. Gathering Leaves embossing folder, this one. So that's the folder I'm using. And I ran it through. It's going to go sideways. I can't go, if you want it to go up and down this way, you'll have to put another piece or do it. I guess you could do it this direction. You have to figure that out. It would work. So what we're going to do now, while that is in the fridge, we're going to take the Amber Autumn. We're going to use the acorn piece for this card. And I'm going to use Memento ink. Wow, my new desk setup is actually working for me tonight. I wish you guys could see it. I got a new fun, what do you want to call it here? Block storage. My friend Kathy's son does 3D printing, so I bought a couple block storage units from him. And I got all my blocks there now, and they are wonderful. They're all right there, and I'm not going to have to worry about them all crashing over on me. Probably if I cleaned off, the thing I'm using here was Reed's. It's like a desk organizer. It's got some shelves and then this space on it that you could stand up your binders, and I don't know if it must expand and go wider. But anyway, I could stand up my stamp sets I use and stuff in it if I was that organized. But one thing at a time, right? All right. So now we're going to just color this guy real quick while we're waiting. I've got some Dunker pecan pie, and I'm going to do the top of the acorn. And I'll do this quick, just so. Then I got some light pecan pie, and I'm going to do the stem. And then I'm going to pull down from the dark and see if I get that dark to bleed into the, get that dark to bleed into the acorn down here. Because we know the more we lift our brush, it like replenishes. So if you leave your tip of your marker down, you'll run the ink out so it will naturally get a little bit lighter as you go. So I've been told. We're going to stop with that one. Now on our, I got too many little pieces in my, on our leaves. So now I'm just going to come through and see this little hole, because I'm not going to cut that all the way out. I'm going to put some ink in there, and I'm going to try and make it look like it's part of the. So now I'm just gonna, I don't even know if this is, probably a leaf doesn't change color in the way that I'm coloring it, but you know what? It's my card, right? And I'm gonna make the leaf change color like this. We have a very colorful leaf, right? So we got some green on our leaf, and that's dark old olive. And we're gonna come through with some red, and my red here is not, I'm going to do it very light because it did not want to blend yesterday on my second attempt. And this one looks like I've cut the point off. And that's what I tend to do if I use them in class and somebody presses too hard and busts my point off or down. I just take some scissors and trim them. Trim the point off. See, like that's real layoverish. I'll take my scissors and cut that down. Probably not the best alternative, but it works. Now I got some pumpkin pie I'm going to come in and do the same kind of thing with. This is how I'm making my colorful leaf. When I go over to the freezer, I'm going to have to run back, so hopefully I don't trip. If you hear a big clunk, call my husband, call 911. Something. Now I have duckling. Darling duckling. And I'm going to come through, and I'm just going to, I want to use the other end though. I'm going to come through and I'm just going to haphazardly color in circles all over it with a lot. I'm going to do a lot because I want it to bleed. I want it to run and fade. And as you can see in this color, it kind of runs a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So I'm just going to go over it in every direction. Sorry if that squeak is coming through and sounds kind of chalkboardy. That's just what I want to do. And when you're using your alcohol markers, if you give it a hot second, everything's a hot second tonight, sorry. It does its thing after a little bit. So I don't want to wait long enough, and then I just keep doing it. But if you give it a little bit of a pause, it should kind of run and do its thing. Okay, so here we go. I'm anxious to get over the freezer. I wish I could take my camera with me because it's just so cool. I want you guys to see it. Experience the with me. All right. See, I'm just going over and over. I'm draining all the alcohol out of my. And it looks. Gotta get this one. It looks too staged. I gotta my blobs, my lines on there. Too staged, uniform, too matchy, too something. But what we're gonna do now is cut this out with our scissors so that we have this. Okay. Now, hold on. I'm gonna run over to the freezer. I gotta move my light so I don't trip on it on the way back. All right, here it comes. can't trip because we only have a little bit of time. Okay, quiet. Now, here it is. Listen. Can you see it? So you just bend it. Where's my... I hope you heard that. Now, if you want more cracks in it, can you see all those? I don't know if you can see them. If you want more cracks, put it back in the freezer. You hear it snap. You just can't go too crazy, like I'm trying to do here for you, because it will break. Like, not break, but like now it doesn't want to snap, so you should go put it back in the freezer and just let it cool down some more. No, it's not going to snap anymore. And then you can like snap the rest. Like I didn't really get to snap this corner. So maybe what we do is one the other day, I stuck my finger right through it. Like that one, I just ripped it. So stop messing with it. But there you go. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to show you real quick. You can also take a blender, take a sponge, and where's my silicone mat? I'll turn this over. Take a darker color and go around on it. And then, in essence, it should kind of go into those cracks. Okay? I'm going to hope it plays out. That's where you saw that on my sample that I showed you. Can you see how that's going into those cracks and making those cracks show up a little bit? That's just something, then take your tissue and wipe the excess off. Now my mat's all sticky. Okay. So now those lines, hopefully you can see them way better. I can't see on that. Oh, you know what? Geez, oh, Pete, I got my iPad going here so I could watch and see what was happening. And then I never even got on to the silly video. Okay, so I can see the video now. So I can see that you can see those cracks. Isn't that fun? So that's called cracked glass. And this one, my sample, I went really crazy and got some big old cracks in that. So this one was with the Stampin' Up! Fine powder. And that was that one. I got a couple more. I made this one. I didn't put any dark on this one, but I wasn't sure if this one didn't work out right, then I had this one to fall back onto. So it did work out. Yay me. So now we're ready to use it. So this guy would actually look pretty going up and down. Let's see. We're going to take it and glue it onto a piece of cherry cobbler. I got 2 1/4 by, looks like 3 1/2. Where's my, so yeah, that was several layers of Versamark ink. We used to do it 20 years ago. But didn't you have to use the powder, Marilyn? You can do it with just the ink? That would be cool. I'd have to try that. And this, yes, this is an old technique, probably 20 years old. And I'm going to move this over a little bit. My paper is really not the right size, so let's move it. And then I'll trim that off. Put that down, hold that down. when it gets all that, it's really thick. When you get all that on there, it becomes a very thick piece. Where's my little baby trimmer? We're just going to trim off a little smidge of this because I don't want it that wide or that much border on that side. So now, let's see, can we put this on there? Because I like the way those leaves are going. Put this on there and put it upside. Oh, not really with our happy birthday though. I guess we could put happy birthday along. I just don't want to cover up. So we're just going to go sideways. I don't want to cover up the too much of the cracked glass if we don't have to. So I'm going to glue that down right here. I could have picked a different sentiment, but I'm not prepared for different sentiment, a smaller one. We could definitely have used a smaller sentiment and gotten that on there. Let's see. Glue that down. We'll pop up our acorn piece up in the corner. Yeah, Julie, I liked it in portrait mode also. It just, I don't know where I would put my words. Because it looks real pretty. That's the direction that well, I like that way better. But oh, look, I left it that way because I needed space for my, yeah, but definitely the portrait mode is cool. So now we got our leaves and acorns on there. Then I have a 1/2 inch strip of white. We're going to use here's some other ones that I made. This is the one I stuck my finger through when I was trying to go this way. So be careful you don't go that way or you stick your finger right through it. And then this guy, I wanted to do lots of cracks and I cracked it so much that it will crack and see if I can get it and like pop off and then break. So again, it was a little bit of trial and error to figure out my exact science. So don't feel if you don't do it right the first time that you did something wrong. Just give it another try. And you'll really like it when you get one to work for you how you want it. All right, so now I'm going to use happy and birthday on this. And you can probably guess I have a lot of birthdays. I think I'm overdue on some of them. So I've got a lot of birthday cards that I need to create. So I'm going to put my happy on here. And I'm going to use cherry cobbler. Ooh, that heat gun made me hot. I gotta take my sweatshirt off. I wore it today. It's my Christmas sweatshirt I got from my daughter. I don't think I could. I don't think I can put it under there and show you. Let me see. I can get it. Is all that in there? This is what she calls me. She calls me Govna. So if you ever hear me talking to her and I say, "Hey, Govna," it's because that's what she calls me, Govna, and then I call her Govna back. So she got me a sweet sweatshirt. And no, I do not long to be Whitmer, Governor Whitmer. She just picked up on Govna somewhere and it's stuck now for several years. So we're going to put down happy. And I only did a little tiny bit of the tail. And then we'll bring in the birthday. And I should have tried I was telling Julie or somebody that I think you can stop the staining if you use Versamark on your stamp before you put it into the ink. And I didn't do that. I gotta get a bigger block for birthday. And then we're gonna stamp the whole birthday. And I originally don't want to put it too close. I thought that they might go together, but happy birthday's 2 words still. You don't want them to go together. Duh. Oh no, I just stamped it too high, you guys. Last time, I think it's crooked cut too. Birthday. Let's find our happy. Not finding my happy right now. Nothing happy about having to stamp twice, but yes, we do have to stamp twice sometimes. All right, that's a keeper. That's a keeper. We'll get those out of the way before we wear them. And yeah, that is gonna go down here on the front. I'm gonna get my scissors. Maybe I don't want the whole tail, but we'll take it all the way to there. And then I'm gonna get a couple of dimensionals again. Stick it up on the card front. Here. And then we're just going to stick it down here below. Like that. And I have a white for the inside that we could probably, you know, stamp something on. This set has some little leaves. I'll show you a card that I made with and put the little leaves on. Those would be cute inside. I need some new glasses. I'm going to end up with all kinds of face wrinkles because I bunch up my nose to get my glasses up high enough to see out the bifocal or trifocal or whatever the heck that is on the bottom of them. So there we go. That's our first card. And that's our cracked glass technique. Isn't that neat? All right, so that was this was the sample. This we just made. Let me show you a couple others while I got you here. I had, you know, my resident creative director did not like this one. He poo-pawed on the red. He just didn't like the way it looked. Oh, and I forgot, I did take my brush and I went over the white just a little bit to muddy it up with any of the colors that you want that we used for the, just muddy it up a little bit so it's not quite so stark white. And now you can still see, I gotta go around. Now I'm getting it too dark, but you know what, it's red. So he didn't like the red for some reason. He didn't like the red in the background. So then I made this one. I tried it again and said, what do you think of this one? And so then you can see I got a lot of cracking in this one too. And I probably almost over cracked. Once I can feel it's rough, it wants to pop out. But these are the little leaves I was talking about that you could put on the inside. So that was another version. I used the stamp for the background, put some leaves on it. And then I had yet another bigger piece that I was working with and cut that into some little squares and overlapped them on the front. And because these looked more Timid Tiger and Strawberry Slushish colors, that's the 2 colors that I used, Timid Tiger and Strawberry Slush. So they kind of work, even though, you know, they're not really probably autumn colors, but they work. So now this card, the last card, the next card, let me see what I got going here. we are going to use the mask that we did for the first one, and we're going to make this card. And now don't look too close because this was really my prototype, so it's all janked up on the inside. But we're going to make this card. And we need to get our trimmer out and just trim these edges up because our card's only going to be 5 1/4 by 4, or 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. But we're going to go right up to the edge. So let me show you. So I'm just trimming off some of the edge. We still want some there, but we're going to cut around it. Should be good. So then I've got, get all my pieces out here. I took one of my stitched rectangles, I think it's the second largest, and I just whacked a hole in the middle. So you can whack a smaller hole, that works too. I just wanted to maximize this piece. We're going to glue this piece to the inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue. I'm going to put my glue around here just so that I know I'm getting it where I need it, at least to hold that piece on. Just in case we cut it too close, then I'm just going to lay it on there. You can eyeball it from the other side if you want, but I'm just going to eyeball it from this side. Make sure that I'm covered on all the sides. So it looks like that. Isn't that pretty? Now I wasn't sure, who was I looking at? I saw a card from Robin, not Julie's Robin, that Robin Treehouse. I think she's Creative Treehouse. I think I'll have to look that up. She had something like this and hers was solid behind, so I wanted to shake it up a little bit and not be a total copycat. So I grabbed some vellum, and I thought that the vellum would give it a nice look behind it. So we're going to glue this on. Again, I'm going to just put the glue around the border because the vellum will show, I'm thinking, the glue. So we could put some glue on all, like these big leaves, but I'm afraid that we're going to see them. But I use a different glue on sample. I got some of the green glue in clear just to see if I liked it. And, you know, it all came up. I think it must be a water base or something because it seems to react differently. But anyway, hopefully I didn't go over the edge there. So now we've got our vellum behind it. And again, we could have glued some of these down. Not a big deal. We're going to take a piece now of basic white. I got 2 inches by 2.5 or 3.5. And I'm going to use the layered thoughts. And I believe all these stamp sets that I'm using are still available online. I think this might be in the last chance. And maybe don't quote me, this one might not be available. But I recently got this one, so I'm thinking that it might still be out there. So I'm going to use the thanks, or the thank you. And I'm going to use my old olive. Here. You guys like the yellow the best. My yellow card the best. Mike liked that one after. My international creative director, I don't know if she liked this one. She said this one was okay. She liked the red one, but I shook the red up to green today. But yeah, I just used the You know what that uses though? The tree from the tree that's in the suite, not the Amber Autumn set. It uses the trees. Autumn, probably autumn trees or something it's called. Should know my product names better. So now we're gonna just, I'm gonna cockeye this thank you on this one. I did not on my other one. This one I'm gonna give it a little bit of a cockeyed go, and I'm gonna put the U down there, and it might stand out better if it's standalone down there. And I'm gonna do the U in Cherry Cobbler. And that is right here in the same stamp set. So we're going to ink up the U. I'm just going to put that down at the bottom. Stands out a little bit better, I think, than my sample one did. Peel that off. Let's stick that on the other block. I don't know where my sample went. Can't go too far. It's all right here. It didn't go anywhere. I have not even moved. But I was going to show you the... Oh, there it is, underneath on my block. So this one, I put the I kind of centered on it, and then I put the U at the bottom. So we got two versions of the thank you. Then we're going to glue that onto, what the heck? I used the wrong paper. All right. Well, we'll do that again real quick. That was my extra piece from the last card. That's what I get for trying to be efficient, right? What would take less time? Stamp it again or run over and get another piece of paper to mount that on? So now we're going to have to put this right in the middle, because that's how I cut the paper. And then we'll get the U out again and cross over the thank for that. That was a good idea I had. Try something a little different. Now we're going to put the U over the thank you, like that. And we'll mount that on a piece of early espresso. Looks like it went on the 1/8 of an inch. And then I glued that to the front. And you may choose to use a smaller sentiment, but I'm going to show you here. Just put a little bit of glue on different spots here. See if I can get it to hold down. Well, close. Maybe it needs to go up that way just a touch. Okay, so we're going to glue that down, but let me show you my thinking here. Give that a second to stick. Hopefully it's not going to show through on the other side. Doesn't look like it's gonna. This white glue does a pretty good job of drying all clear in there when it runs over. So now my thought is I'm gonna glue this inside again. You can put some of those leaves that you cut out, like the ones on the yellow card, or stamp something else on here. But if you're gonna stamp before you glue it on. You need to flip the paper over. But now my thought is, because see, you could see the white card below that, underneath that. I wanted you to be able to write in the center and kind of keep it hidden, if you care. Keep it hidden under this piece. So you could shrink this down, but then you'll see your writing. You might then see your writing through the card. But that is our second card. Oh, I didn't give you guys a keyword. See, I almost got off without a keyword. Let's do glass, because we did a cracked glass. card. So let's do glass for our keyword. And these are the two cards that I did. I think I'll probably redo this because I don't like that. I got too dark on it. And so don't be afraid to take stuff off if you don't like the way it looks. It's just a piece of paper, right? We'll just get another strip, glue it on there, and it should even work if I put some glue on those dimensionals. It should even glue right over those. So let's see what we got going here. Let me go here. And I think we're good. I thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Feel free to share me with customer or your friends. Like, share, comment. You guys are great at commenting. Helps me grow. And I do have YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, my newsletter. Like I said, it's going to be important to be a part of my newsletter in the next year, in 2026. So don't wait till then. Get signed up so that you can hear about the classes and stuff I got going till then, but you'll be ready when the newsletter goes out. That's it, you guys. I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, and I'll see you back here next week. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. And